couch today. I cannot be bothered setting up the green screen. Ding, 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 ding. Pop quiz.
Soap. I f***ing love a good pop quiz.
What comes first? The heat death of the universe or Activision making their last Call of Duty game?
Oh my god.
Congratulations! You were right. Yeah, this franchise is immortal. Call of Duty is looking like it'll never die, but why? Sure, we've had massive franchises, even franchises that have been successful for multiple decades. But COD is different. Like, Zelda has new life now, but it's definitely had its low points. Resident Evil fell off for a while. Even Pokemon has had some blunders, some stinkers, if you will. Call of Duty, though, has been undisputedly on top since I was a child. And I'm willing to bet that's the same for you too. And the craziest part is, they make a game every single year, and it's a cash cow every single year. Basically, any franchise you can imagine can't put out a game every year and have it be a hit. Look, I am not a hater. I'll play COD if it's put in front of me. Even the new ones. I'm not opposed to Call of Duty. Call of Duty? Call of Duty. Call of Duty. I'm just baffled as to how it's still alive, or at least how it's still doing so well. Medal of Honor died. Do you remember Medal of Honor? I don't either. Battlefield is dead again. Like it died once and then it came back and now it's, yeah, it's dead. Other than those, there's Halo, which has been on the ropes since Bungie left to go make what? Killzone? I guess? When's the last time you heard Killzone being mentioned? Don't answer, I'll answer. It was when you were 10, genuinely. If you want to play a first-person shooter without being a sweaty nerd, Call of Duty is the last one left.
Let's go! Let's go!
Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. I really get on you, nigga. Shut your stupid ass up, nigga.
But what makes COD so special? Again, this video doesn't come from a place of hate, just complete bewilderment as to who is keeping this franchise alive. Clearly, it's still making money. It has to be. And look, all right, I have a theory, bitch, as to why Call of Duty will live forever. Forever being like, you know, like for the foreseeable future. I mean, I don't. First, let me put into perspective how huge this franchise actually is. Call of Duty isn't just alive, it's still very much thriving. So, you watching this, you are either a Call of Duty player, or you're like me, and you haven't bought a Call of Duty game for a long time. Maybe never. This was the last Call of Duty game I bought. I'm not holding anything. And if you're not big into COD, you might not realize just how popular this franchise actually is. I definitely did not. For the people that don't know, look at this. The most recent Call of Duty release was the Modern Warfare 3 reboot. It released to some pretty shitty reviews. In fact, it was the worst reviewed Call of Duty game ever released. Ever. I'm talking literally ever. I mean, out of the mainline games, I don't know shit about whatever mobile. Do they have a mobile game? There's probably like a billion mobile games. The worst reviewed mainline Call of Duty title. And that is relevant because guess what? Within a month, it outsold Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Not just that, it finished the year as the second most sold game behind Hogwarts Legacy. And to be honest, that game only sold because of Professor Garlick's tip. I can't even think of a good analogy for this. This is like, okay, it's like, imagine if the shittiest Call of Duty game ever made sells more than the literal best game in years. RE4 Remake came out in 2023. What? Clearly, COD has to do a lot worse than just release a shitty game to even fall out of the top sellers, let alone fail. Let me show you the best-selling games in the US by year. Since Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty has made the yearly best-selling list without fail. 19 years in a row, Call of Duty has not been knocked out of the top 10. And 12 of these 19 years, Call of Duty has been the best-selling game. And you want to know the craziest stat? In 2009, Modern Warfare 2 was the best-selling game. The next year, 2010, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was the best-selling game, and Modern Warfare 2 was the 8th best-selling game. Meaning, in 2010, there were 2 Call of Duty games in the top 10 best sellers. I mean, I said that was the crazy part, but that's not even the crazy part. From 2010 to 2016, 6 years in a row, that year's Call of Duty and the previous year's Call of Duty were both on the top 10 sellers. For over half a decade straight, there was always 2 Call of Duty games in the top 10 at any given time. And also, let me add that of the last 19 years that COD has been dominating, 10 of those years have featured 2 Call of Duty games on that list. Yeah, over 50%, an entire decade. Holy shit. I mean, yeah, I knew COD was massive. Everybody knows COD is massive, but this is otherworldly levels of popularity. I just did not realize it was this big. But now that I've emphasized to you the scale of Call of Duty, I want to go over why it ever got this big in the first place. After the first Call of Duty, there was a 2-year break before Call of Duty 2. This is the only time there's ever been more than 1 year between COD releases. Call of Duty 1 was good, got fantastic reception, and I guess allowed Infinity Ward to make Call of Duty 2. And with COD 2 began the God Run.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
5 years of nothing but heat. Now, I'm not sure if you were a kid during this era, between the years 2005 to 2010, but the 5-year stretch between COD 2 to Black Ops 1 was some legendary shit, man.
Okay.
COD 2 was considered the best World War II game ever made, and honestly still might be. COD 3 was... alright, it can't all be heat. But then we got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, World at War, into Modern Warfare 2, into Black Ops 1. There is nothing before or since comparable to being a dumbass little kid while these games were dropping back to back to back to back. It was 2005 and we were headed into the 7th generation of consoles, the best generation of consoles, with this lineup. I mean, what game was better at headlining that generation than Modern Warfare? During these 5 years, Call of Duty wasn't just making the best shooter game, they were making the best game. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were other amazing games coming out during these years, but nothing to the same quality, at least if you ask the average person. The COD 4 and COD 6 campaigns? I mean, there was just nothing like it before. Half-Life and Deus Ex might have been shooters with better stories, better overall games, to be honest. I mean, Deus Ex is my favorite game ever.
Oh my God, Daddy!
What a shame. He was a good man. What a rotten way to die.
But they came at a time when PC gaming was still pretty niche. And admittedly, they're both really clunky. Modern Warfare essentially took away the computer nerd stigma from shooter games in such a mainstream way. It was incredibly accessible, looked really good, and played so smooth. All this made it easy for somebody with a full-time job and a life to dedicate a few hours a week to it. Combine this mass appeal with a genuinely great campaign, and you have, to the casual gamer, the greatest piece of art ever conceived. Sure, Nintendo still had more mainstream pull, but their perception was made for kids. Then with stuff like God of War, Resident Evil, Oblivion.
I know you're busy, but I need a moment of your time.
Aye. Ah, you must be.
You had games that any age range would love, but those games had an accessibility issue. It's hard to get everybody on board with horror, high fantasy, sci-fi, etc.
You know what's Game of Thrones? No, there's dragons in it.
Call of Duty literally ticked every box. It was approaching mainstream levels of recognizability. It was available on every console. It was a war shooter game, a genre that isn't too out there, but is also grand enough to excite most audiences. These dudes haven't played Half-Life. Their setup consists of a console, a stack of sports games, and at-home gym equipment. But that's not even what sealed it. It was, without question, the multiplayer. Halo revolutionized multiplayer on consoles, but Call of Duty streamlined it. They refined it until there was nothing left. I mean, strategy? What is that, Norwegian? What does that even mean? It was all about speed. Now with Call of Duty, you run fast, you shoot fast, you die fast, kill streaks to get kills quicker, lobbies that prioritize speed-based matchmaking to get in there as fast as possible. Remember when you were playing Modern Warfare 2? You'd be on day one getting matched with motherfuckers that were like Prestige 3. When I say they refined it, I mean quite literally. All there was to it was picking up a controller, running around, and getting those quick hits of dopamine. To this day, that hit marker sound might be the most satisfying shit you can hear. Like on some chimp shit. Anyway, we're not done because the year after, we get zombies. Do I even need to say anything? Zombies. Then Modern Warfare 2 came along, took that Call of Duty 4 formula and laced it with crack, followed by Black Ops. Really just duct taping together that god tier multiplayer with zombies. I mean, at that point, the franchise had built up an unreal amount of goodwill within the casual market. Anything Call of Duty was the thing to look out for. You go to your friend's house, they've got a COD game. You go to the store, they're advertising COD. At this point, Call of Duty was just associated with good. If you were a kid, you didn't know shit. You just knew it was the most fun you've ever had on anything. And if you were an adult, the main demographic for video games, you knew it was guaranteed to give you something fast, easy, and really fun. Activision was doing Marvel before Marvel. Essentially, COD 2 kick-started Call of Duty's dominance, and the games up until Black Ops solidified it as the McDonald's of games. I'm serious. You might not like how it tastes, but most people do. Add to that it's fast, cheap, and very accessible. You have a dynasty that just keeps growing. The reason that Call of Duty will never die is the same reason that McDonald's won't, because it will never innovate. Now, that sounds like a knock on COD, doesn't it? That it won't innovate? Innovation is what makes art better. But Call of Duty isn't trying to be art. It's trying to please the most amount of people possible. The fact that the COD games refuse to change year after year is what keeps people buying it. The fact is that since Call of Duty found what makes it great around these few games, ever since then, every time they have tried to do something new, it has backfired. Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, jetpacks. There was a real pushback with COD Vanguard, and now Call of Duty giving in and literally just re-releasing the God Run is what's bringing back their goodwill. With the remake of Modern Warfare 2 becoming the fastest selling COD game of all time. And I mean, with the COD game being released this year apparently being another Black Ops title, how many Black Ops games are you gonna make? There's so many games. You know what, let me watch this trailer. I haven't seen anything about Black Ops 6 or whatever. I think it's Black Ops 6, right? Let me see this shit. It's Black Ops 6.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Oh, what the f? This is actually quite an interesting trailer. What? Okay, let me... What? No way. Am I a Call of Duty fan? There's no way I'm a Call... Fuck off, I don't like COD. Activision is 20 trillion IQ because despite them getting the same criticism every year, oh, they're doing the same shit as last time. Another COD game that's the clone of the last one. They're still making more money than the games that do the things that you want COD to do. That sentence was fuck. By the way, I'm one of these dudes, believe me. I have not purchased a COD game in 14 years. I love games that push boundaries. I can't even finish that sentence, it sounds so pretentious, but I mean, I enjoy the occasional AAA game, for sure, but overall, I enjoy classic games and indie games way more. However, I am part of a niche audience. Activision couldn't care less whether they have my business or not. They are looking for the guy that games 3 hours a week, goes to the gym, has friends. You know, the guy that doesn't mind buying the new COD game every year because it's the new thing and he wants to just turn his brain off and enjoy some games. There is nothing wrong with being this guy. This is most guys. Activision has a good thing going as far as they're concerned, and they know that by doing something new, you disrupt the entertainment drip feed. You don't keep people coming back to McDonald's by changing the Big Mac. You simply give the people what you know they enjoy and proceed to make that thing as accessible as possible. Anyway, my job here is to explain to you why Call of Duty is an immortal franchise, and hopefully you found that interesting. Like I said, I am not a COD player. I think the games are redundant. However, I 100% understand why the franchise is as popular as it is. At least I think I do. And if I was a console player with limited time and a fleeting interest in video games, yeah, I'd be on COD too, no doubt. Or, you know, like 2K. I love LeBron James.
I had one coach, and he used to say,
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit.
oh yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.
But hey, please subscribe. Oh my God, holy shit, please subscribe. Bye.